So hello everyone. Thank you very much for joining me today for this webinar. My name is Marta and I'll be giving you a walkthrough of Cambridge Online Mathematics. Great. Alrighty, so just a brief overview of the platform. Cambridge Online Mathematics, or COM, is the digital learning platform for mathematics from Cambridge University Press. The platform houses our international digital maths products to support Cambridge Checkpoint Mathematics, Cambridge IGCSE Mathematics, and Cambridge International AS and A-Level Mathematics. As a teacher on the platform, you'll be able to set tasks and assign tests for individual students or entire classes, as well as create reports to track student progress and performance, all of which will be very useful tools in teaching your math students remotely. We have recently extended our Cambridge Online Mathematics trials from 15 days to 90 days. So to access these extended trials, simply go to our homepage at cambridge.org, click through to our education section, locate our teaching and learning from home section, click through to find out more, while that loads, we'll just go ahead and click this through. On our teaching and learning from home section, scroll down to secondary, click Access Maths Trial, and you will be taken to a form. After reading all of this information, please pay close attention to the final question asking about your students. By letting us know how many students you would like to include on the platform, our customer services team will be able to send you your login details along with a spreadsheet containing access codes for your students that they will use to register for Cambridge Online Mathematics. You and the students will also receive a class key, which will enable them to be linked to a virtual classroom within the platform. If you have any questions regarding this form, please ask us now or feel free to email us and we'd be happy to help. Now that we've registered, we'll go ahead to our home screen here. After your students receive their access codes, they're able to register for the platform in the student section here. And logging in is simply in our home tab on the right. So as you can see, this is our home tab for Cambridge Online Mathematics, and you can navigate through the courses up here. Cambridge IGCSE and Checkpoint Mathematics are both additional resources for your students and are able to be used alongside the physical textbooks. They are also identical in terms of layout and features on the platform. AS and A-Level Mathematics is a digital version of the textbook, and the layout in Cambridge Online Mathematics is a bit different, so I will be covering both. We'll start today with IGCSE Mathematics. As you can see, our chapters are located on the left, with our topics located on the right. If I click through each chapter, you can see that each chapter begins with a topic quiz. We'll start our walkthrough here. Our topic quizzes begin with level 2 questions, as our level 1 questions are contained within each topic and are designed to be answered while your students view the topic notes. Our level 2 questions begin the review. These questions check your understanding of the basic skills covered in this group of lessons. Level 3 questions require you to completely understand the maths in this group of lessons, and challenge questions ask you to bring in skills from other groups of lessons. If we go through level 2 questions, you can see they take on a variety of formats: multiple choice or write-in, working out different problems. And if I click Submit Answers or Check Answers, the platform will automatically tell you how many you've scored, how well you've scored. If you've answered any of the questions incorrectly, the platform will direct you to the exact part in the lesson that you need to review in order to answer the questions correctly. The platform will also do this after every incorrect question within the quiz. I'll click through to here to get us into the actual topic, but that is also accessible if you click this little arrow up here to chapter 1.1. So immediately we see all of our content is on the left. All of our text goes all the way down. And all of our features are located on the right. We'll start with the content on the left. The light blue words you see here are those that are linked to our dictionary, which is accessible clicking through here. And the back arrow takes you back to the topic. The dark blue words are keywords from the content. And if you keep scrolling down, you'll see the content prompts you to either click a widget or print a worksheet in this specific topic. We'll be going over these specific resources in this section here. We'll begin with the features on the right with our walkthroughs. These are exactly what they sound like. They walk your student through the topics being presented to them on the left. You can see a summary of your walkthrough before you begin it, and when you're ready, you can go ahead and click Begin. In this case, they want me to write in the millions place value. I'm going to go ahead and answer this incorrectly to show you what the platform does. Automatically, it tells you that you are incorrect, but it asks you to try again. If I write in an incorrect answer one more time, this time the platform tells me I'm incorrect and gives me the correct answer, so your students are able to quickly check their understanding and improve their knowledge. In this case, we only have one walkthrough, but this varies between topics. Our next feature here is our Scorcher. The Scorchers are quick fire, fun ways to check your students' understanding. They are able to play against the world, their school, or the students in their class. We're going to go through the Scorcher just so you can see how it works. It counts us down, and as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and write in the wrong answer again, just to showcase what the Scorcher will do for your students after they're all complete. So as you can see, it goes very quickly and keeps your students engaged the whole time. So this platform gives you your final score, your final time, and compares your high scores with those of students in your school. You can also click through each page to see your solutions. So once again, in every step of the way, Cambridge Online Mathematics is making sure that your students are checking their understanding and improving their knowledge. The next section here are our resources. So these are the ones I've mentioned below in the text. The first section here, Number Reader, is our widget resource identified by the gear image on the left. In this case, it is a number reader. So these widgets are often very interactive and they just add another element of understanding for your students. So instead of them answering the same questions and answers, they're able to display their learning in an interactive visual way. I'll just go ahead and complete this very quickly. As you can see, there's no right or wrong, it's just displaying a concept. And we're able to see the number I've just created in words and in bundles. And then you can go ahead and reset there. We've also got another widget here, as well as a worksheet. Our worksheets are identifiable with a little piece of paper located to the left of them. These worksheets open in a new tab. They're able to be downloaded and saved and shared with your students. I'll just wait till this loads. Excellent. So as you can see, it's a pretty standard format of worksheet that you can again download and share with your students. The last section here are our questions. These are similar to the topic quiz questions we talked about in the beginning of the walkthrough, and they start with level 1 questions, the answers for which are found in the lesson notes, and then go up in difficulty all the way up to challenge questions. These questions look a tiny bit different as you only see them one by one, and you can filter through this way. The next section that we'll go over in IGCSE, now that we've gone over the content and the features on the right, is our little toolbar here in the top left corner. The first of which simply being the ability to print, the ability to go full screen, and most importantly, our ability to create a task. This is an excellent remote teaching functionality as it allows you to assign assignments from our activity section for your students. You're able to name them, choose a start date. If you, for whatever reason, need to change your topic group from IGCSE to Checkpoint, you can go ahead and change that. Double check you've got the right course and write a message to your students. After you save that, they'll go ahead and receive that task. The next section here is our share a link feature. So this can be shared with people who have a valid Cambridge Online Mathematics account. So of course, you can copy this to your clipboard and send it to your students if you want them to find this exact part of the IGCSE resource. Our last option here is to create a bookmark. You can choose your folder, change your bookmark name, and it'll tell you the location. So as I mentioned, IGCSE is very similar to Cambridge Checkpoint Mathematics. So I'll just quickly show you that. So here the chapters are called units, but once again, we've got our units on the left and our topics on the right, and every unit starts with a topic quiz. If I go into the actual content, you'll see right away that the format is exactly the same. All of our text and content is located on the left, with all of our features located on the right. I'll move on to our Cambridge AS and A-level maths now. So as you can see, our chapters are still located on the left with our topics on the right, but every chapter no longer begins with a topic quiz. To match the actual textbook, because ASNA level maths on Cambridge Online Maths is a digital version of the textbook, there are cross-topic review exercises located every couple of chapters here. We're going to go ahead and begin right in the content. So right away, we can see that the formatting is completely different. It starts with a prerequisite knowledge section, followed by a brief bit of text, moving on to your worked examples. You can navigate by, of course, scrolling down your page, or using the little box in the top left here to go down to your worked examples or your explore section. You've got your text here in the section part of the tabs. You've also got a tab that says exercise. The exercise tab is simply questions based on what we've learned in this section. Using this little box in the top left, we can navigate from question to question. We can also choose whether we want to show our workspace, show our answers, or show the answers the platform provides, and submit any answers we've worked on. Our work has been submitted, so we're able to see our results. The platform tells us how much % you've completed of the assessment. It tells you the exact correct answers and reviews your responses. For the content portion, that's all we have for ASNA level, so we'll move on to the features on the right here, starting with our Desmos graphing calculator. So this very wonderfully displays exactly what your students might see on a graphing calculator. If they don't have one nearby, or if they just like to use it within the text, this is a great tool for them to be able to do that. And I'm just using my keyboard here, but you can of course use the keyboard built into the graphing calculator here. There are also some settings you might want to look into to make it appropriate for your students' learning at the time. The next section here is our Desmos geometry tool. This allows you to construct a variety of geometrical shapes, and it'll tell you how to do it step by step below. In this case, we'll create a polygon together. So as you can see, I'm following along with the instructions on the bottom left-hand side, where it's prompting me to choose another point. Lastly, I'll choose another point to finish. The tick mark indicates I've created my polygon. Next, perhaps I'd like to create a transformation. I'll define this transformation as a rotation and follow along with what the platform is telling me to do here. Choosing a point, selecting an object to apply this transformation, and applying it. As you can see, I've rotated my object a few times here. This little button lets us undo our transformation or redo it once again. There's also a small settings option here. Our next section is our Desmos scientific calculator. This allows you to once again use the keyboard function or use the calculator function below. Here is your main calculator section. Here's an alphabetical keyboard, and here are functions you're able to use. You can also switch the calculator from radians to degrees, and once again, there's a brief settings section here. Finally, we're also able to create a task within ASNA level maths, and this looks exactly like how we saw in IGCSE and Checkpoint, but of course the activities here only include the topic or the exercise. Finally, we are also able to share a link using our little toolbar section here. The next thing I'll show you is our dashboard section, which you can access via the toolbar up here, or simply by clicking our Cambridge University Press logo at the top. So because we are currently in Pure Maths 1, one of our ASNA level topics, and I'll tell you that that is the course you are in and allow you to access the last topic we were in. Our dashboard for ASNA level maths looks slightly different to our IGCSE and Checkpoint, so I'm going to go ahead and start there. So this is our dashboard for IGCSE Core and Extended. It starts with our messages function. Very simply, we're able to compose a message, send it to students, teachers, or entire classes. You can choose your subject here, write in any of your messages, format them, choose an expiry date if you wish, and go ahead and send it off. Your students will receive this notification here, and if you receive any messages from your students, they will also appear here. Our reports function is split into two for IGCSE and Checkpoint Mathematics. The first reports function lets you see all of the class and student reports available to you on the platform and lets you see your classes here. You can also change your course group, your course, chapter, and topic if you so wish. If I change this report here, click Generate, it will update below. I'm also able to export this report as a PDF or an Excel spreadsheet. The second reporting function focuses on our classes here. We can click on a class name to view the class reports or a specific student. It also shows us our school administrators below. Next, we have our tasks functionality. This is where all the tasks that we've created together are stored. You're able to view previous tasks you've assigned, see the progress that's being completed by your students, and you're also able to close them. If you'd like to create a new task, simply click New Task, and a very familiar pop-up window will appear. Next, we have our tests functionality. The tests functionality is only available for IGCSE Core and Extended and Checkpoint Maths. It is not available for ASNA level mathematics. So you can see all of the tests I've created here. I'm going to create a test together with you now. The platform will ask you if you'd like to use the wizard or the manual selection, and we'll be going over both. The wizard option lets you name your test, describe it, and then choose the number of questions per level for each selected chapter topic. And we'll go ahead and select exactly which topic we want to focus on. There we go. So once again, it reminds me the course group and the chapter and the topic I'm in, and allows me to preview the questions on the right. I can see the correct answer. I can also preview the test in its complete form. If I save this test, it has been saved successfully, and I can access it in the My Test section. However, I have not assigned the test. To do that, I have to tick the box here and click the Assign option. Before we finish with tests, I'll show you how to create a manual selection test. This tool, once again, allows you to choose your course group, name your test, but you are able to search through every question available that the platform has created in level 1. So you're able to preview them here, and if you'd like to include it in your test, go ahead and click the little arrow and include it on the right. Once again, we can preview the test, save it, and view it here. And just like Wizard, to assign it, we have to tick the box and then click Assign here. There's also a variety of tools you can also use for your tests below. Our next functionality is simply our dictionary, which of course shows us all of the dictionary terms included in the content. We've also got our next section here, Games and Block Buddies. Block Buddies is simply one of our games, but has its own little section in our dashboard. So I'll just go over our Games section. Very simply, this is a variety of games that you are able to assign for your students via message, or simply let them know that they are available. It's a great way to kind of break up your students' learning if you'd like them to have something different to do. As I said, the Block Buddy section is just one of our games that's accessible via the dashboard. Our next section here is School Classes, which shows you all of the teachers and students and classes in your account. Next, we've got our My Classes section. So it shows all of the classes you have as a teacher on the platform. It lets you look at some student information, where they last logged in, their usage time, and some account information. You can also view your school administrators. Finally, we have our Bookmark section. So as we saw before in the content, we could create a bookmark, and this is exactly where all of our bookmarks live. So we can see them in a bit more detail. We're able to rename them, delete them, or edit them here. We can also add new bookmark folders, such as The general one the platform automatically creates for you, and the lesson plans one I've set for myself. That's our dashboard for IGCSE and Checkpoint, as those two are identical, and I'll briefly show you how the AS and A-level dashboard differs. So as you can see, we only have one reports functionality here. This one will still allow you to do everything the other two functionalities included, but all in one section here with our class and student reports. Just like in the other one, you are able to generate the reports below and export them as a PDF or an Excel spreadsheet. We also only have the tasks section here, and we do not have the tests section included in AS and A-level maths, but everything else is relatively the same, with the addition of the more resources section. Currently, the resource available here is a Desmos user guide if your students need any help using those particular features. The last thing I'll cover here is just this toolbar in the top right corner. As I mentioned before, your messages will appear here in the notification section. Your dashboard is accessible through this little grid box here. The magnifying glass lets you search for anything on the platform. This is our bookmark section where you can see all the bookmarks you've created. This is our help center, which takes you to a very, very useful site that you can direct your students to, or perhaps any teachers that are starting on the platform. It goes over everything I've discussed in this walkthrough, step by step, in the form of guides, FAQs, and there's also a contact email there. However, feel free to contact myself or any of my colleagues if you have any questions about the platform. The last little section here is our account settings, which shows you the products you're currently using, your details as a teacher, your class key, and your ability to add or renew a product. Well, that concludes the walkthrough portion of our webinar for today. We'll be sending out an email after this webinar, which will include your certificate of participation, a link to sign up for a free trial of Cambridge Online Mathematics, a link to watch the recording of this webinar, and contact details for myself and my colleagues. Please let us know if you'd like to request a personalized demonstration of the platform for yourself or your colleagues. As I said, if you've got any questions now or in the future, please let me know via email. Thank you once again for joining me, and I do hope you enjoy using Cambridge Online Mathematics.